Welcome to the Gemini podcast. I am your host, Josh de Freitas, and I am super excited to be here with you all today. Here on this show, you can expect to find some of the greatest leaders of the world coming by, stopping in, having a chat, some great discussions, great insights. We want these guys to share with us all failures and the successes that they've had in their careers, the ups and downs, so that they can share it with us and so that we can grow the Gemini. I came up with the name Gemini Podcast not only because I'm a Gemini baby, but the word Gemini has 3 syllables, the gem in I. So we're looking out for the gem in you and, most of all, just learning a lot from these people and the great things that they do, the super heroes within them, and just looking out for some great conversation. Today is my first episode, so it's the inaugural episode. In life we're always called to lead or to have faith or to take action or to stop the bad habits. Change is inevitable in life, and we're always called to these things to become better versions of ourselves. It's not always easy, but one of the key things in really making life, the hard parts of life, easier is to have a goal, to have a desire, to have a dream of somewhere to go. You see, when you have these things, it gives you the energy to get up, to keep on pushing on, to have the faith, to believe that one day you would reach. I want to call that the gem within us. Some call it the spirit, some call it the soul, some call it energy. It is a God-given talent. And here on this show, I'm going to call it the gem in us. And, it's such a it's probably the rarest thing on this planet, what we call our soul or our spirit. It's the rarest thing to us, and it's the rarest thing to anybody on this earth. On this special episode, I want to share a little bit about me, or where I came from, what I'm doing, and where I'm going, and a bit about the podcast and what to expect on the podcast. I was born in the beautiful island of Trinidad and Tobago. We left and we came to this even more beautiful island, Saint Lucia. At the age of 4 years old, I was brought over here with my parents. They came over to run a family business, and growing up in Saint Lucia has been so amazing. The people of Saint Lucia are some of the most beautiful, down-to-earth, genuine people you can ever come across. Growing up in Saint Lucia, like I said, was amazing. My mom and dad had us in plenty different sports. I sailed, I played table tennis, I surfed, I even swam and played squash for Saint Lucia. And those things were great because it taught us discipline. It taught us that we had to go out there and push ourselves and become better in different ways. I have a very keen passion. My true passion is horses. From a very young age, I would just be drawn to these majestic animals. I think it's kind of in my blood because on both my mother and father's side, my grandparents have been involved in the horse racing industry in the Caribbean between Trinidad and Barbados. So I would say it's in my blood, but from a very young age, I was always drawn to them. And especially in Saint Lucia, horses are everywhere. So you would see them guys riding them bareback on the beach. You'd see them riding them along the road. Here in Saint Lucia, they tether or tie the horses at the side of the road because a lot of people who own horses don't own much land, so they would just tie them in different empty properties around the place. And anywhere I saw them, I would want to approach them. I would want to get on them. I would want to ask the person so many questions about their horse. So at the age of 15, my grandfather agreed and he bought me my own horse. And I kept it just like the St. Lucians keep their horses. I kept him tied outside my parents' home, and I'd bring him home for water. And I would realize, then I would take him to the beach, and I would go running down the beach with the guys. We'd link up, whole crew of us would link up on a weekend, and we'll get together and go running the horses on the beach or riding around St. Lucia along the coastline. That was an amazing part of my childhood. And I realized in school, I'd sit down, just stare out the window and can't wait to go home to see my horse and want to go riding all the time. So after I left secondary school, or what you guys would call high school, I actually went to Oklahoma to become a farrier. So I went to Oklahoma, I became a farrier. And after that, I came back to the Caribbean, but I went to Trinidad to work at the racetrack and a couple equestrian farms. There was more opportunity there to make money as a farrier. So I went to Trinidad, back to my birth country, and I worked at, like I said, some farms. And one of the farms had this beautiful young lady working at it. She had called me out to come and work, and that is my now wife, Josh de Freitas. And both of us had been around horses all our lives since like the age of 10. At that point in time, we had both dreamt of owning our own stables one day, owning our own horses. And so we took that dream and that passion and we brought it together. We started to plan immediately of how we can do this, because both of us didn't come from, a family with a lot of money. And if anyone knows, horses could be very expensive. So we came up with a plan and we decided to come back here to Saint Lucia 2 children later, open up a farm. So I want to give you a little bit about how that happened, because, this is where the importance of having a goal, having a dream, being passionate about something really drives you and really pushes the boundaries and makes anything possible, anything. So we left Trinidad with a plan. We got 2 broken down horses from the racetrack for free, and another one, Kerry's friend gifted us her horse to come to Saint Lucia with. And we didn't have much money saved up. We sold Kerry's Jeep. We sold my motorbike. I had a motorbike at the time. And with that little bit of money, we spent that to be able to fly the horses across to Saint Lucia and put 2 pallets of whatever we had in Trinidad that we wanted to bring across. Reached to Saint Lucia with nowhere to put these horses. So there was literally a piece of land behind my parents' house that was overgrown with bush. It wasn't owned by them, but it was always overgrown with bush. And I think the family or the owners of the land lived away and was never here. So I knew that we had some time. So I cleared that bush. I got some old pallets, wooden pallets, and I built up 2 stalls to hold 2 of the horses. The other horse, I made a deal with a guy before I reached to Saint Lucia to trade that one horse, because it was a thoroughbred racehorse, and those are very rare in Saint Lucia. So I agreed to trade one of the horses, the male horses, for 5 local ponies. So when I gave him the horse, I said, hey, I have nowhere to put these ponies. Hold on to them, and I will get back to you when I have somewhere to put these horses. So anyway, I built up these stalls behind my parents' house, and lo and behold, within the first week of me being in Saint Lucia, I get a phone call from my mom's cousin. He had owned a property, a business, a ziplining business, and attached to that ziplining business, the ziplining business, by the way, was on an estate. So attached to that business, there was a restaurant and a historical estate tour. And he called me and he said, hey, Josh, I want to talk to you about something. And he said, I'm leaving to go back to Trinidad, and I'm looking for someone to run my business. At that stage, I was 25 years old, never had a business, and he wanted me to run his business. So this was kind of mind-blowing. The pay was pretty good. I knew I needed to get a job temporarily to be able to sustain my family and keep these horses until we found a way to start this business. Anyway, while having this meeting, this guy is going through the details of the job and everything. He's like, I need you to commit 5 years. I said, I really can't commit 5 years. I'm here to do my own business. And this business had about 40 plus staff. It was pretty big for me. I was pretty blown. We had the zipline team. We had a maintenance team, because this was, like I said, this was on an estate, 300 acre estate. We had the restaurant staff. We had the tour guides who were doing the historical tour, plus supervisors. I kept on telling him I can't give him 5 years. And he said, I need 5 years. I need you to commit. Anyway, so we're going back and forth. And then eventually he broke and he said, hey, Josh, let me tell you, we have an old stables, or old horse barn on the property. Just need some galvanized, and you can start your business here. My mouth dropped. I was like, what? Within the first week of landing in Saint Lucia, there was a way. There was a way. We left Trinidad not knowing what the next step was. We just knew we had a plan, and we knew that we could have done this, and we were going to start from scratch. This just laid in front of our lap. This was a great opportunity to start. So got the horses from the guy, and took the two horses and went down to Soufrière, and this is where we started at the estate. I have so many stories where things like that happened, where things just fell in place. And currently, we're at a location where I always dreamt of being. We take guests out to the place that I always envisioned from the beginning when I started to do this business plan to take our guests out. We don't have our forever home yet, but we're very, very close to getting that, and we're on our way to making exactly what we had planned a reality. Well, not exactly. Things always turn out differently, but way better than what we had planned. It always works out, and it usually works out when you have faith and belief and a vision better than you ever expected. Why am I telling you all of this? Because like I said, when you have a goal, when you have a vision, and you hold it in your mind long enough, it will manifest. Great saying from one of my favorite authors, Napoleon Hill, is whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. And this is a saying that goes way back to the early 20th century. And it still holds value today. Last year, March, I decided I need to share this with the world. I need to share this with the people around me. I need to share that this power within us is real, and I needed to learn exactly how it's harnessed so that everybody can use it. So I became a personal development coach in March 2023, just over a year ago, and becoming a coach, living these principles, learning these principles, reading all these books of the greatest people who ever taught this stuff has absolutely changed my life. Tenfold. My relationships, business, my health, my social life, my children, my wife. It's been so amazing. And this is one of the reasons I'm launching this podcast, is to allow people to see the gem in them and to bring people on this show to show so that they can showcase how they harnessed that gem within them, that gift, that God-given gift that He's given all of us, and how to use it to the best of your ability to make the most of it. And the mission of this podcast is to inspire and empower aspiring leaders through the stories of highly accomplished leaders around the world. At the Gemini Podcast, you will be inspired to take action. You'll be given steps to take to create success in the area of your life that you're looking at creating. Like I said, I'm going to have some amazing people join me here on this show. And I promise it'll only get better. This is my first one. I'm super pumped. I'm super excited. I want to thank all of you who have looked at this video and who will follow me on this podcast. Blessings to everyone, all of you out there who are watching this, and stick with me. It's going to get better. I'm going to have a lot to offer. I'm going to have giveaways. It's going to be amazing. I love all of y'all. Have a blessed and wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next one.